We're going to have a lot of fun. So let's get started. Here we go.
To retirement. But even with a good income, there are some big mistakes that can foul up your retirement badly. Here's 6 mistakes to avoid when planning for your golden years. Mistake number 1, start saving too late. Mistake number 2, underestimating healthcare costs. Mistake number 3, assuming Social Security will be enough. Mistake number 4, not saving enough. Mistake number 5, failing to plan. Mistake number 6, not creating an estate plan. No matter where you are on your journey to retirement, avoid these problem areas and seek advice to keep or correct course.
Here are disclosures for today's presentation. OverShare Advice is an investment advisor registered here in the state of Texas. We're going to post this presentation on our website so you can view all the presentation as well as the disclosures. Hi. Here we go. So today we're going to talk about all 6 mistakes, but we're also going to share some ideas for each. Now, the ideas aren't necessarily specifically recommendations for you, but they're things for you to consider. Talk to your financial planner, talk with us, see if it makes sense for you. Most importantly, before we get started, get your notebook, right? Get a pen, get a pencil, get something to write with. We think there's going to be some things that are noteworthy that you're going to want to make notes of, that apply to you or someone in your circle of friends or family that's going to be important that you want to share. And we've also got a bonus number 7. You probably weren't even thinking about that. We've got a bonus number 7 mistake. You thinking, gosh, we have 6? Could there be a 7th? We're going to share number 7 with you. So get ready for that. So number 1, start saving too late. What's awesome about mistake number 1, it doesn't just apply to the young person who is waiting. I spoke with a 27-year-old a couple of weeks ago, and she said, is it too early for me to start? I'm 27. Is it too early for me to start thinking about planning for retirement or saving? Absolutely not, right? So in the same sentence, I have a 77-year-old client that said, is it too early for me to be thinking about changing my portfolio down the road, right? I'm 77 years old. I want to live to 90. Is it too early, right? So we'll always think about, is starting saving too early? But the benefit of this starting now is that the benefit of investing over time takes a lot of the risk out of that portfolio, a lot of the risk out of your savings, a lot of the risk out of your plan. On top of that, you add to that the power of compound interest, right? Where your interest makes interest, and you add to that the ability to do dollar cost averaging. When you invest small amounts of money each month or each quarter, it actually gives you an advantage over time and how your portfolio can perform, how your investments, how your savings plan can do. Huge advantage. So think of that 401k that you're contributing to every payroll. Think of that Social Security check that maybe you're not spending all of, that you're saving a bit back, or the income that you're not spending. All that each month can add to that. And saving early, starting to save early, gives you potential for better outcomes, right? So how do you drive better outcomes? How do you drive better results? And also, when you start sooner, you can start smaller. It takes some of the urgency of having big choices away, so you can start smaller. They say 48% of those over 55 have no retirement savings. Half of Americans over 55 have no retirement savings. Certainly, if we think about how big mistake number 1 is, it's everywhere, and it's a common thing, and it's a danger to folks. It's a danger to their portfolio. It's a danger to their jobs, their stress, their businesses, right? Because once we start too late, it really does put a lot of pressure on us for everything else to perform perfectly. Let's see what that means. So this is a common question. Certainly this year, the market feels a lot like a casino, but not just the casino on a good night. It feels a lot like the casino on a bad night. And if you look at the odds of the different games that you play, blackjack, craps, poker, keno, slots, you can see they're all less than 50%. In fact, keno is 23%, which is, sounds like we just learned something. Maybe stay away from the keno table when you're in Vegas. But if we look just at a couple of these and say, hey, what does it look like to play blackjack? 48% odds. How does that compare to the market over time? So we see the blue bars. This is the percentage of years that stocks had a positive return, so 12 months at a time, calendar year returns from 1901 to 2019. 1901 to 2019, right? So we might have skipped part of 2020, but we're throwing in there difficult 2008 and 9 that you guys remember, 2001 when the internet crashed, 1987 when the stock market crashed on the very difficult 1987 years, and that includes the Great Depression, several years of the Great Depression. And if we take a look, 1 year at a time, 73% positive returns, not great, not 100%, but certainly better than any odds that you look at in the casino games in Vegas or Mississippi or wherever you happen to be gambling. But take a look at this. When we start early and we build out a longer time horizon, that 15-year time horizon, look what it does to our opportunity to have positive returns, 99.9%. If we can look at all the 15-year time periods from 1901 to 2019, 99.9% of those were positive. In the same sense, if we dig a little deeper, green are stocks, blue bonds, and then the gray bars are a 50-50 portfolio of half of each. That's kind of in the middle. 50-50 is kind of what we think of as moderate. 80% bonds would be more conservative. 80% stocks would be more aggressive. So you can get a sense of that 1 year at a time, you could have experience from 1950 to 2019, a down 39%, right? If you start late and you make a big expectation and your first 2 or 3 years of investing is down 39%, it's hard to recover, right? You might be hoping for that up 47, but down 39 is hard to recover. But let's take a look at a 20-year period. And these are 20-year rolling periods. So this looks at all the 20-year periods from 1950 to 2019 and says, hey, you know what? Averaging all those out, the worst return of those 20-year periods was 5% positive. The best was 14, which is to say over a 20-year period, if the worst return that you could get in a diversified portfolio was 5%, how would that make you feel? Would that be reasonable for your portfolio? So when you start soon, when you start early, even whether you're 27 or 77 and make those plans, now you have the benefit of this, right? You remove that self-induced risk, and it's a huge opportunity for you. Mistake number 2. This is an enormous one, and it's a silent one, and it's one that we don't always plan for. And quite honestly, it's one that a lot of folks on purpose ignore or lower. If you look at the picture on the right, that pill organizer, how many folks do you know that have a pill organizer? Some have a pill organizer for the morning time and for the evening time, or maybe one even at lunch, right? The cost of medical care, prescriptions, health insurance costs is a big one. Underestimating that cost in the future is also a big one. How you're going to get coverage if you're a self-employed person, or if you retire early before you're able to reach Medicare age, healthcare costs can be a big dent in what your savings looks like. In addition, that's even before we take a look at long-term care costs. If you guys don't know what long-term care costs is, this is when you get to a place where you're not able to take care of yourself, right? You need nursing care, you need help taking your medicine, you need help taking care of your daily activities of living. That's long-term care. So let's take a look at Medicare costs today. Just an estimated age 65 at 2020, about $5,000 a year. Growing at a 6% rate, that could grow as high as $16,000 a year. This does not include additional services. This does not include additional surgeries. This does not include the cost of long-term care. Medicare is just primary health and medical coverage. It does not include the need for a long-term care stay. So what does a long-term care stay? If $16,810 doesn't cover it, what does long-term care look like? This is a map of the whole country and what the costs look like. The lighter gray is the lower numbers. The darker green is the higher numbers. Of course, Texas, you see, is that dark gray, $20 to $22 an hour. Now, that's not too bad if you only need a couple of hours of care a day, but typically most facilities require 4 hours or 8 hours. What if you need 24 hours of care? You see that orange arrow on the far right? Cost could be between $85,000 and $120,000 for a private room in a nursing home, right? So if we think of the big mistake that we could have for the future, not planning for healthcare costs is a big one. That's why it's number 2. Mistake number 3, Social Security. Let's just assume Social Security retirement benefits will be enough. Is that a big mistake? Absolutely, it's mistake number 3. The average Social Security payment is $1,400. Could you live on $1,400 if you had no other income? It may be tough, right? Even if your house is paid for, your cars are paid for, maybe you're in great health, $1,400 is pretty low, right? So that's why we have to save on top of that. But if we know Social Security could be there, how do we build strategies around it? How do we know what age to begin? What about our Social Security benefits for retirement becoming taxable? Which is to say, let's say you retire at age 66, you turn on your Social Security retirement benefits, but you're still working. Let's say you have a side business, or you do some consulting, or you love doing coaching on the side. And because of this, you earn enough money that now your retirement benefits from the Social Security Administration are taxable. How do we plan for that? Let's go to ssa.gov. If you haven't been to the website, ssa.gov.gov, it's a huge resource, a lot of tools on there, a lot of things to look at. But today, the value of that income over time is enormous. So Social Security is such a huge contributor. Even though it won't be enough, it's a huge contributor to a person's retirement plan. When we take a look at this, if you're not familiar with what today looks like, FRA is full retirement age. You have the choice at, let's say, at age 66 to apply for full retirement age for Social Security and get those benefits. And you see that $3,000 a month or $3,100. You could start early and take a reduction in your monthly benefits, which is that $2,200 a month, or you can wait later and increase your benefit to that $3,980. Over time, that could be a huge contribution to your retirement plan. Look at the blue circles. Over that life from your retirement age to age 90, that's $1 million. $1 million that's contributed to help you through those retirement years. In fact, if you wait to age 70, from 70 to 90, it's an extra $500,000, almost $500,000. So you see that purple line of 1.149 if you started at age 62. If you pause and wait to age 70, that's $1.6 million that could be contributed to your retirement income stream. So Social Security certainly is important. It's tough to assume that it will be enough, but it's an important thing. So how do we build strategies around it? How do we, work with clients on when to choose, when to pause those benefits and wait for those? But we've got other things to think about. Mistake number 4, not saving enough. Right? America is underfunded. When we think about where the income is, where the assets are, where the ability for individuals to create income after they start working and support their lifestyle, the big mistake is not saving enough, being what we call underfunded. So how do we overcome that? Number 1 is, if you see on the right, all the credit card swipes, it's so easy to spend Today, how easy is it for you between Amazon, between subscriptions like Netflix and Hulu, between shopping online and very easy, being able to store a credit card and click and have something done, the ability to walk in and swipe a credit card so easily, that puts a lot of burden on you to say no, right? And that's what we've seen. It's so easy to say yes. We need other things in our lives to help us save. So you can see that list of bank draft savings and investment plan. Anything we can do to do automatic savings. If we have to think about it, if we have to write the check, we'll forget. I call this the sprinkler system, right? So we've got a sprinkler system in the yard, and it's set automatically that it goes on the right day, it waters the right amount, and it handles things perfectly. If we don't have a sprinkler system, we might forget when the last time it rained. We might forget and delay. Maybe it's 2, 3, 4 months. Now suddenly our bushes are wilting. Suddenly our flowers aren't surviving. Suddenly it's too hot in Texas. Now it's been 6 months and everything has died, and you say, forget about it. It's too late. I've waited too long. We do the same thing with our portfolio. We do the same thing with our savings. We do the same thing with our emergency account. Build that automatic savings plan. If that's $25, $50, any amount that you can do, it's got to be automatic. And with today's technology, you can get it done. If you don't know how to do it, call us, we'll show you. It's easy. The second one is on your 401k match. Make sure that you're taking advantage of your firm's contribution to how they will match your contribution. Even if it's dollar for dollar up to 3%, all that is additional compensation to you, that if you're not at least making the match, that's money that is just disappearing. That's money that's really free money that's getting offered to you that you're not taking advantage of. The second thing you can do on your 401k, most 401k plans today offer an automatic increase. Now, what does this mean? It's 2020, you're saving, maybe you're saving 5%. It's tough in 2021 to suddenly go, and now I'm going to save more. To make that choice and do that yourself is tough. What if it's automatic? What if next year it goes up from 5% to 6% without you having to touch a thing? Most 401k plans and retirement plans offer that as a choice. Look into it. Call your HR person, say, how do I go online? How do I make this automatic? The next thing you know, you'll be living at 6, 7, 8, 10% of your savings, and it won't feel any different. And suddenly you'll have a great nest egg, and it's going to be fantastic. We talked about overspending. Man, what we see so often is a house that's too big and cars that are too new, or cars that get replaced too often, right? And it's wonderful to have new cars that are reliable, but most cars these days can last more than what you would think of as a lease duration of 2 or 3 years. Most cars today can last 3, 4, 5 years. And what we see for a lot of folks that are on the edge of saving enough is the car's too new and the house is too big. We talked about too many purchases. There's also what we see as too many large purchases, right? That are treated as disposable. We see that next is taking on risk in our investments or our financial choices, right? We see this with when we work with clients that say, hey, I need a home run. I haven't saved enough. I need a home run. And that's when people take on risk. That's when they get out way too far extended. And that's when they make mistakes. If we take a look at two scenarios, we got the Joneses on the left, we got the Smiths on the right, and we see that they just started a little bit early. Each one's saving $5,000 a year. The Joneses start about 10 years earlier, and you can see the difference is almost double. And I'll make that a little larger so you can see that. Wow. Imagine going in or getting close to retirement, getting closer and closer to retirement. The difference between $247,000 in savings and $533,000 is a lifetime, right? That's an enormous difference. And it's $5,000 a year. It's $400 a month that can make this $500,000 difference in a person's life. That's why it's so important. Mistake number 5. Are you taking notes? What's been the one that you feel has hit you the most, right? Failing to plan is part of that, right? Failing to plan is hard to get our arms around, but it's a big mistake. The biggest thing that we see, it's all about missed chances and bad surprises. It's this wrong way sign. Everything was going great on the trip. I turned right to get back on the interstate. I didn't realize I was going the wrong way. I wasn't looking at the map. I didn't have GPS. I was distracted. I was thinking about other things. I didn't plan at all. That's the wrong way sign. That's the biggest thing. What that we see when people fail to plan, missed chances, bad surprises. There's an opportunity to lower your income taxes if you plan. There's an opportunity to increase your nest egg if you plan. What we see when people fail to plan is that opportunities are lost, forgotten, and left to chance. Opportunities are lost, forgotten, and left to chance. What a sad thing that we don't want you to be in, right? We want you to have that huge opportunity to have more choices, to take advantage of opportunities, to be able to say yes to big things that make a big difference in your life. Number 6, not creating an estate plan. Wow. We work with some great clients that have no estate plan, no will, no anything, no guardianship for their children, nothing for special needs, no beneficiary designations that have been updated. Some of these beneficiary designations may be 20, 30, 40 years old. Some of these old life insurance policies or old annuity policies. Talk to your family. If you have elderly parents that have these old documents sitting around, or if you've had friends and family that have had spouses pass away and gotten remarried, they may have life insurance that still has their deceased spouse listed, right? Or their ex-divorced spouse listed. All these things are important. Having that plan is huge. If you need to talk to an attorney, we can help you with that. We can connect you with that. Number 7, the bonus. Woo! Are you ready for the bonus? What is the action plan? I had a CEO that was a great mentor of mine. He said, education is more than entertainment. Education is more than entertainment. For education to really matter, it must mean action. The next thing we know, if in less than 1 hour from right now, this will seem less important. If you feel like this is important, you're taking notes, you feel like you want to do something, in less than an hour, the feeling will pass. In 48 hours, this will be gone forever. Make your list now, pick one big action, get it done. Next steps, join us for our next time. Go to overshareadvice.com. Check out our blog. We're gonna have a replay of this. We're gonna have a copy of this presentation. Send me an email to get on the invite list, or send me an email to help with your big things. This has been awesome. We're gonna get this done in 26 minutes. Here's our blog on our website. Go to Research and Insights, click on blog, boom, you're there. You're gonna like it. There's some good stuff. There's a lot of checklists there. This has been awesome. 6 horrendous mistakes to avoid with a bonus, number 7. We did it in 26 minutes. Thank you for joining us. You guys have a great day.